few years back, Rabbit Hole Distillery shocked the whiskey world with a $1,500 bottle of Mizunara cask finish. And Barrel Craft Spirits just released a Mizunara finish whiskey, and if you want to hear about it, then stick around. All right, we have two special guests today, Austin and Daniel.
He's Austin. I'm Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing it in order, and I'm Randy. Austin, you're more of a Scotch drinker, right?
That's right. Yeah, I've only recently getting into bourbon thanks to my friend Daniel.
Yeah, that's what we do. And since bourbon is a distinctly American product, it is a good red-blooded American thing to do to drink bourbon. So we're
arguably superior, but
I try not to get into that argument because I get butthurt. And then I start saying offensive things to my Scotch friends. It happened last night. It's fine.
What did you say specifically?
My Scotch friend said, the reason why I'm not more into bourbon is because I prefer superior spirits. And I said, really? I thought you went to Texas A&M like I did. Normally at A&M, they're pretty conservative and they teach you not to rebel against your own country. But I mean, maybe they weren't teaching that treason was wrong when you went there. I don't know. And you could see on his face, he's like, "Are we really arguing?"
Yes.
And I was like, "No, it's fine. You can drink Scotch if you want to." But there actually is kind of a weird Scotch-ish tie-in with this particular bottle. And so Mizunara is a species of oak that only grows in Japan. And it's such a valuable resource in Japan that you actually have to have a license from the government to be able to fashion this oak into barrels. And there's only a small number of people. At one point I was told 50 people in the world that are licensed to work Mizunara oak casks. Wow. And so the premium Japanese spirits, which are fashioned after the Scotch style of whiskey making, are aged in Mizunara barrels. And Mizunara barrels are very hard to come by in the United States. There's a multiple year waiting list to be able to get a Mizunara barrel. And just for reference, a regular whiskey barrel a couple of years ago when I got these statistics was less than $300. A Mizunara barrel was $2,500 to $4,000.
Oof. Okay.
And so when Rabbit Hole released a 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon that had been aged in Mizunara barrels for $1,500 a bottle, everybody was losing their minds. And I talked with Cave Zamignon personally about it, and he said, "Look, this is just how much it costs, right? Like the 15-year liquid was expensive, the barrels were super expensive, and we charged a normal markup and a normal margin on this, right? And so this is just how the numbers settled out. I got to try that whiskey and it was excellent. So when Barrel Craft Spirits, I guess it's their publicist, reached out and said, "Hey, do you want to try this new release and do a review?" I was like, "Oh, absolutely."
Absolutely.
So when I found out the price, I was like, "Oh my God, this might be one of the best values of the year." So Barrel Craft Spirits is a non-distiller producer. They source their liquid, and they recently came out with a less expensive version of their products, because most of their products are $89.99 or $99.99. And they came out with what they call Barrel Foundation, and it blew me away.
Foundation's very good.
And so for the price, I'm like, man, they are really doing some special stuff. So let's check this bottle out. So the distillery, it's the bottler is Barrel Craft Spirits. The SKU on this one is from their oak or cask finishing series, and this is the Mizunara version of that. The age on this is aged at least 6 years, and that's handwritten on the front label. So there may be other releases that are coming out that are a different age.
Preview.
The proof on this one is 116.42. So Barrel Craft Spirits is known for being cask strength and non-chill filtered, so that's good.
That's my sweet spot. 110 to 120 is
right in there. It's got enough proof to be flavorful, but it's not going to blow your palate out. So And Daniel, what was the SRP on this one?
Not $1,500.
Not $1,500.
$84.99 was the MSRP on this bottle.
They are still bottling in a 750 ml. So for those of you at home that don't know, U.S. law recently changed, and you are now able to bottle in different sizes so that you can buy one bottle for both the European market and the U.S. market. And so you got to check your bottles because some producers have been screwing you out of 50 mLs of liquid.
Do you think we're going to see a trend of American producers moving to?
I think so.
It makes sense.
I think we will. And I think it makes sense in some cases, especially if you're doing an international limited edition release. It doesn't make sense to have two different bottles. But anyways, what do you say we check this bad boy out?
Oh, really nice.
Yeah,
Really
very
nice.
sweet nose.
Very sweet. Lots of honey.
Lots of vanilla, lots of honey. And that's kind of what the Mizunara cask, from what I've heard, that they do impart a very nice sweet flavor to the whiskey. Now, is it worth 10x on the barrel or 12x, 13x on the barrel? I don't know.
That's a lot.
And maybe barrel prices have come down because that statistic was from a couple years ago.
I'm with you. I'm getting lots of vanilla, lots of honey, not a lot else.
Yeah, I'm not getting a huge fruit note.
No.
It's mostly like in that butterscotch, vanilla, honey direction.
Even the oak on it is the wood notes on it are very, very, very subtle.
Yeah, and this one it says that the states of distillation, it says it's got 6, 7, and 9 year from Indiana, 8 year from Kentucky, and 8 and 14-year-old from Tennessee.
So our average is like 8.5, 9 years probably.
Yeah, and there are no distilleries that are selling barrels to non-distiller producers in Tennessee that have barrels that are like 8 and 14 years old, except for Dickel. So there should be Dickel in this, and I do not smell the Dickel note.
No, I'm not the biggest Dickel fan, and I can pick it out pretty quick, and no.
All right, let's taste it up. Huh.
That kind of dances around a little bit.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on in this
That's
glass.
a lot. I'm going to need a second.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I can exactly put my finger on what all's going on.
I'm getting, growing up in South Florida, I ate a lot of flan.
Okay.
I'm getting some flan.
Okay. So a caramelized sugar note, like a
creamy, very creamy
yeah,
caramelized sugar.
I would certainly not disagree with that. I'm not getting a strong citrus or a strong like fruit note. I'm getting something that's in the direction of a citrus note, like
dried apricots a little bit is what I think I'm picking up.
Maybe.
But not like...
This reminds me a little bit of like Weller Antique. How it's like
Yeah.
sweet, but there's not like a real strong fruit note that sticks out.
It is sweeter than Weller Antique.
Yeah, and there's a nice like spearmint towards the finish.
On the exhale almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the finish there's a nice spearmint.
This would be absolutely incredible with a cigar.
Okay, I could see that.
Absolutely incredible.
It's sweet enough to stand up,
Yeah.
but it's not overly sweet like a lot of the cigar blends.
No, it holds its own. It's right there.
What's the Scotch lover think?
The Scotch lover has a very unrefined palate.
That's okay.
Drinks peated whiskeys. This tastes very sweet to him,
Okay,
but I like it a lot.
you do like it?
Yeah, it's I don't really get the sugar caramelization.
I think a lot of it's hard to find balance with finishes. Like a lot of Ambiuranos I've had are overpoweringly sweet,
Oh yeah,
and I don't think this crosses that line. This is really nice.
yeah. I think it's well balanced with the sweetness and the whiskey flavors, and I do enjoy the mint note that's kind of on the finish. I think it wraps it up very nicely.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet and creamy up front. Nice little mint pop at the end. Very good.
All right. So on a scale of 100, 100 being perfect,
Oh gosh.
70 would be like below 70 is like I wouldn't drink this unless I had to. Okay. 80s are like this is good, solid. I would have this on a Tuesday. 90s are like I might write a friend about this.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like so. Giving it on the 100-point scale, like how would you rate this?
I'd probably put in the 80s.
80s?
I would have this on my shelf for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I would put this probably solid right at 90. I would recommend my friends pick up a bottle just to try it.
Okay.
It's really, really good.
I'm up there. I was going to go 88 on this one.
Yeah.
88 out of a 100-point scale. Pretty solid. So then it begs the question. At $84.99, is this a buy or a pass?
I'd probably want to let it sit for another 30 minutes before.
Before you made that
That's
call.
the Scotch.
As a
That's the
Scotch
Scotch
drinker.
drinker.
The
in 'em.
Scotch drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's a buy. This is a unique finish. I'm a sucker for finishes. It's worth having, and you're not going to pay $1,500 for it.
I'm a buy at $84.99.
Yeah.
And I think not only am I a buy, I'm not a buy and back it up. But if I ran out and it was still available, I'd buy another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
I feel like this is a good solid product. All right, so we are going to give away some whiskey.
Let's do it.
Let's say that we have 5 winners this time.
Ooh, I like it.
We're going to have 5 winners, 1 ounce pour of this Mizunara. And what else can I throw in? Let's do also the other bottle that we talked about, which was the Barrel Foundation. We can do 5 winners of that. And I don't think I have enough in any of my other bottles to do 5. So we're going to do sample packs. You're going to get 1 ounce of the Mizunara, 1 ounce of the Foundation. And all you have to do to enter to win this giveaway is like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. And you want to do that because you'll be notified of future giveaways and future content. And then just below in the video description, there's a link you got to click. Fill it out and say that you want to be entered into the randomizer. Once we pick the winner, we post the results publicly. We reach out to you and we ship you your samples absolutely for free.
Whiskey's for sharing. Let's share.
Let's share it. Also, if you like this content and you're thinking about supporting the channel, obviously you could just subscribe. That would be great. But if you want to support financially, we do have a Patreon, and it's not just a monthly donation. We've got price points for all budgets. But you do get some pretty awesome member benefits. We do distillery takeovers, in-person meetups, monthly virtual bottle shares, major discounts on merch, and you get the satisfaction of knowing that you support the channel and its mission. We also you could support us by purchasing our merch at bourbonrealtalk.com. We have whiskey stuff made by whiskey people for whiskey people. Aroma kits, bottle carrying bags, specialty glassware that's designed for high proof American spirits.
Can't recommend that enough.
Yeah, the glasses are pretty epic. And so you can check that out. But you could also consider hiring me as your residential real estate agent in the Dallas or Houston metro area, because my real estate company does subsidize this channel and always has. So that would be a great way to support. And if this is your first time tuning in, we'd like to tell you a little bit about our show philosophy. We are all about bringing people together around bourbon, and that is because I lost a loved one to suicide. And I saw how my brother had lost a lot of social connections, and I saw how whiskey was creating social connections among enthusiasts. And I thought, maybe if I get you connected to whiskey, the whiskey will do the rest of the job and help you connect with others, just like we have over whiskey. And I feel like it's working. We looked out there. There is some negativity in the whiskey enthusiast world online from whiskey trolls. We talk about them a lot. Austin, we make jokes. We're like, I don't know, maybe their mother held them too much. Maybe she didn't hold them enough. We don't know why they are the way that they are, but they are hateful to strangers online. And so that did 2 things. Seeing that, we created Bourbon Real Talk Community, which is a free Facebook-based whiskey community. You can go join right now, and there's no troll behavior allowed in there. If you act like a troll, you get booted.
It's 2024. We're not doing that anymore.
We're not doing that anymore. That was when the internet was young and people didn't know how to act. Now we're growing up. We're doing it different. But the other thing that those trolls taught us was that if they can hate strangers, we can love strangers. And that's why we end the show the same way every week, and that's this. If you woke up this morning and you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that I love you. We'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.